Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. My name is Zuri. You've once again found Talk Your Earnings to me. I'm sorry, I'm looking at myself in the camera and I feel like I have crazy eyes today. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's my hair or what, but I feel like I look crazy. So I don't know. Excuse me. Um, you guys have once again found Talk Your Earnings to me. This is Zuri. We will be talking Yarny for a few minutes. Got just a couple things to share with you. Just a little catch up after the hectic hectic holiday. We are on today's the 27th, possibly, yes, of December. We are 2 days post Christmas, a few days pre New Year's, so we're just kind of in that little middle ground. I've been on vacation all week, and I'm mentally preparing myself to go back to work on Monday. This vacation was a little bit better than the last vacation in that I was not super busy, but pretty much the minute that I clocked out of work on, well, I don't really clock off, but when I signed off my computer, turned on my computer on Friday, um, within like a few minutes, I was feeling sick and I knew I had a cold coming on. Sure enough, I had a cold all this week. And then I technically finished work on Friday, but I did have um, some, we call it a maintenance window on Saturday that I had some work to do on. It's when we do some like big changes that might be disruptive, that we don't want to do like during business hours. So these are scheduled maintenances where everyone knows that they might lose some kind of connectivity or whatever. So I had like two um, maintenances to work on during the maintenance window on last Saturday. And we thought they were going to go pretty quick, but one of them actually ended up being canceled. So that was fine. And the second one, didn't go as fast as we hoped it would, and I ended up being up till 4 in the morning doing that. Oof. So being between being sick and like doing this maintenance work until 4 in the morning, I was feeling, and then I couldn't really sleep very well even after I finished that. So by the time I by the time I like I got some sleep, it was time to get up for church. And I told my husband, "You guys are gonna have to go on without me." So they did. I did watch it online, so that was fine. But got some much needed rest, and then that same day, like after I got a little rest, I was feeling better. I did have to go and take my son to do his Christmas shopping because he had to get gifts for his dad and his three grandparents. So I mustered up enough strength to do that, and then came home, and I was still sick for like the first couple of days. By Wednesday, Christmas Eve, I was feeling better. Like, I mean, I was never terribly sick, but just sick enough to not ever be really comfortable. But it was pretty much going out by Christmas Eve. Christmas Day was fine. Christmas Eve, we did. So originally, our plan, I don't even remember what our plan was originally. We thought my husband was going to be off Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas. So, and then he found out he's going to have to work. And then, like, the day before Christmas Eve, they're like, "Oh, we changed our mind. You're gonna be off those days, but you just gotta come in on Saturday." Which he doesn't usually work Saturdays, but there's always like a chance that he might have to work Saturdays. This is the first time he's had to do it since he's been on his current job. So today's Saturday, he's at work. So what we ended up doing, like we were originally gonna get his kids like the day, like Christmas evening, and they were gonna be with us like until this morning. And then we had to tell him, "Oh no, dad's working. So just, we're not going to do that." But then we had to change it again last minute. So we went to his parents' house on Christmas Eve because that's when his family does their gift exchange. And then Christmas Day, me and my mom went to go to my brother came over Christmas Eve. My brother um, lives in North Carolina. He's getting ready to move back to Georgia, but he hasn't yet. But he was visiting. He visited. He stayed over Christmas Eve. So Christmas morning, we all, as adults, we exchanged our presents. Me, my brother, my mom, and my husband. And then me and my mom went to take to see my son because he's with his dad. Um, we took him his presents, and then we took him to church for Christmas service. And then from there, we went to my mom's brother and sister who live in another part of town, and my brother met us there. My cousin was there, who's my aunt's son, and then another family friend that I've never met before, but like an old family friend from our home country. And so we gave them their presents. So it was a lot of running around on Christmas Day, but it was fine. I got to see everybody. My son loved all his presents. Um, and then the ones I helped him pick out for his dad really loved those. So all went well with that. Um, and then yeah, yesterday. Then by the time I got home, um, I don't think my husband and his kids were here yet. So he had to wait for his kids to. It's a whole thing, a lot of logistics, blended families, but pretty much his kids were meeting him at his parents' house, but they weren't back yet. They had prime rib for dinner over there, I guess, and my husband brought me a plate, so that was great because I actually didn't eat. We didn't really have breakfast at our house. My ex-husband, by the time we got over to my son's house, he was like, "Did you guys eat?" And I was like, "No." He cooked us some eggs, and we ate those right before we had to run out to church. So that's like all I ate all day. Um, and so then yeah, the kids, him and the kids got back, and so we just been hanging out with them the last couple of days. We went on a hike. Um, Yesterday, and then today, this morning they went home. So that's been our bit of Christmas vacation. That was really convoluted. I probably could have explained that so much better. I apologize. But yeah, anyway, all that to say, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I did. I yeah, I had a really good Christmas for what it was. It was a little, like I said, there was a lot of logistics, a lot of moving parts, and that's just the way it is right now. But for what it was, like, is best case scenario. So we had a good time. What else? Anything else interesting going on? No. So okay, let's talk about. I got one finished object, two works in project progress. My finished object is this beauty here. This is my Mandala blanket. This was my Christmas blanket that I was making. I was working feverishly on this to get it done by Christmas. I did not. I finished this last night, so the 26th. Really, the wee hours of this morning, like 1 in the morning, is when I kind of got my last row on and couldn't make it another row around with the little bit of yarn I had left. Um, so that's when I was like, all right, we're done. And I weaved in the ends this afternoon, like this early this afternoon or like late this morning. But it is a mandala style blanket. We're gonna start with we started with this inner circle. She loved this like popcorn stitch. Okay, so by the way, this pattern is by Hooked on Homemade Happiness, and I got this idea from I don't remember her name, but her channel is called Yarn and Coffee, and she made a Christmas blanket. This is not specifically a Christmas pattern, but she made a Christmas blanket out of this pattern, and this is when I was looking for patterns to make a Christmas blanket with this yarn, and I thought that was good, and it was good. It's a 9-part crochet along from maybe 3 years ago. No, 10-part crochet along from maybe 3 years ago. Starts off with this inner circle, and you have these like popcorn stitches here, right? And then square it off and do some more popcorn stitches, and then you change directions by building out a triangle. So when we change directions and we're now here, we do some rows of some other things. Some popcorn stitches, I think some shells, can't remember. What are these? What is this? I think that's a shell. Oh no, this is popcorn stitches again. Popcorn stitches, just we do some more rows, and then we change directions again. For the last time, we do the shell pattern, and then we spend a lot of rows like evening out the shell pattern, and then we go for just these rounds with you can't see them very well, but right here, but like with post stitches here. I extended this part out. This was only supposed to be like 5 rounds, but I extended it out. Um, and she says this is like a part of your pattern that you can kind of, if you want to make your blanket bigger, that's a part that you can extend out. It doesn't really change the dynamics of the pattern and all. And then you go to this section here that's got like these V stitches and popcorn stitches here. So you see, these are popcorn stitches. This is another part that I extended and made bigger. This is only supposed to be like 2 rows. And then I redid it again the oh sorry, no, V stitches. It's V stitches and post stitches on the corner, and then it's like single crochets, popcorn stitches on the corner. So that should have been the end of it, and I should have put on the border. But I wanted to make it big. I wanted to use up all of the Christmas yarn. So I kind of did the V stitches with the post stitches a few more rounds. Then I did 2 more rounds of the popcorns, and then I did the border. And I made my border a bigger than she did too. I think I did 5 rows or 6. She did only 2, and I just kind of went until I was couldn't go any further. And that's it. It's obviously it's too big for me to hold up for you to see the whole thing, but I think this is you guys can get an idea. And I'll put a picture up. The picture that I'm gonna put up is when I laid it out after I finished doing the ends. Um, but before I washed it. And so you can still see it's a little bit got some waviness. I mentioned this before, like in this middle, the early sections here, like the stitch count just got off. And so, I ended up with a lot of like bunching and waving. And part of it is just part of the design too. It bunches and waves. And then like this section here of post stitches kind of pulls everything even. But mine was so off in the middle that it was bunching a lot. But I had a feeling that washing it would kind of loosen that up a bit, and it did. It still doesn't lie 100% flat. It's a little bit wavy, but it's once I like gravity kind of I think will take care of that. Like once it's draped on a couch or something. So I've been working on that most all of this week for the most part. Because I was hoping to get it done by Christmas and just have it out, but I didn't finish it. But I got it done tonight, so I didn't finish the other two, well, the other project that I wanted to finish by this week, which was these socks, vanilla socks on Magic Loop. It's the Crazy Sock Lady pattern. I did get to the point early this week or last weekend where I was on finished my gusset decreases, and I was got to the point where I'm just knitting even. And so then I know I'm at the home stretch, which is why I felt comfortable putting these down because I don't have like a set time that I have to go and deliver these to my. I didn't even talk to my cousin. I gotta call her. I didn't even call her on Christmas. Just been was so busy. Um, but I'll call her. I'll call her and see when I can go see her. Probably next weekend or like New Year's. A lot of times I'll go see her on New Year's. And deliver these. Hopefully her mom, which is my aunt, will still be there. She lives in New York. If not, I'll mail hers up to her. But these ones are for my cousin. They're the last of the set. I would show you the rest of them, but you've seen them a million times, and they're in my bedroom. Um, but yeah, so we're just on the foot portion right now. Right here, I don't really need to be keeping track of rows right now anymore because I am knitting them 2 by 2 or 2 at a time. So it's not like I need to like have this for reference to see how many rows I need to knit on the next one, but it's just habit at this point. So this is where we're at. We're probably like 3.5 or so inches of everything. As soon as I'm done, I'm gonna find the tape measure right here. But I'm not seeing one right in my reach. Okay. I'll say I'm about 3.5 inches. I'm gonna get to I think 6 inches, and then start my decreases. Do about 2 inches of decrease, and that should get me. I think that's the size I made the other lady socks. Should be. It's good for me. That's what I do for about a size 7. So here we are. This is using it's called Scopal Yarn. Admiral Cat is like the line. I don't know the color, and I have not found my yarn tag, because I balled these up into 2 balls in order to do this 2 at a time here, and then I don't know what I did with it. I don't know where I put the tag down somewhere, and I'm not sure where I put it. But I still really think this is so pretty. I think I did look online. There's other line there I can buy some of this. I think I'm gonna try to buy myself some to make myself some of this because it's very, very pretty. And I like the way it's pooling. It's almost a little bit of a what is that pattern? Not checker. Oh, like that kind of diamond crisscross Scottish. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about? Can you see it there? Like just a little bit of this. Not exactly. I forget the name of that. And then like this is at least during on the leg it was a lot of that. And then now that I've gone through the decreases, the gusset and the heel, like the pooling has changed a bit, which is expected. But I do think these colors work really well together. They're very pretty, and so I definitely would like to try to knit a pair for myself. These are so hard to let go of. They're so beautiful. Um, and then the third thing is just um my all over cable. I think this is called the honeycomb cable sweater, I believe is the name of it. It's a yarn inspiration pattern. I call it my sister Michael sweater because the inspiration to make it was from watching Dairy Girls, and Sister Michael wears an all over cable Aran sweater. So this is, you see, this is all I've done since the last time you guys saw me. So about an inch. This is, I got, I want to say probably like 4 more inches to go before I can do the what are you calls? The armhole shaping and then going into the raglans. So once I finish these socks, which I'm gonna probably do, I might be able to power through and finish these by tomorrow. Um, I think I can. So once I finish these, that's gonna be my next priority to really like power on with this sweater. But I'm also gonna, I'll talk to you guys about it. Let's see, do I have time to talk about it now? I'll give some ideas, but I'm not gonna like go in depth into like my plans, but kind of like some of the stuff I want to do and like cast on next year. Maybe I'll make like a full list kind of thing and do a dedicated video to that. But I some of them I've mentioned already, so I definitely want to finish this sweater. And so me and my husband are actually gonna go out to San Francisco around Valentine's weekend to visit our friends there. And so I would love to, because it'll be winter still. I think it'll still be cold out there, so I'd love to have some nice cozy sweaters to take. I made two already. This will be a third. That'd be great. So I want to finish this sweater. I want to do a sweater called, I want to say it's called a Nordic Night sweater. It's when I was looking for colorwork sweaters to do um the colorwork sweater I did, the blue and silver one. This is actually the pattern I found first, but then I looked at the construction and it is mosaic crochet instead of like stranded crochet. I mean mosaic knit instead of stranded knits. And I've done several mosaic projects in the past, so I really wanted to do a stranded project because I've never done stranded knitting before, and so I really wanted to do that. So that's the second one. The other one, the mosaic one, I kind of put on the back burner, or I put it not on the back burner, but I like kept it on, like just like right here in my brain. And I said I will do that one after I've completed the stranded one. And so I want to try that one. I want to use the same colors, but we're going to inverse it. So this one, because I have a lot of the silver gray yarn left, and then I have like a ball and a half of the blue yarn. So this time the silver gray is going to be the main color, and then the color work is going to be in the blue. So we're just going to inverse it, and that way we can use up both. So I'm going to do that. I am going to definitely, the last 6 months I have barely crocheted. Of course I did finish this blanket. I've done a few other small things, but I definitely want to redo some, like get back into crocheting more. So I'm gonna find um some crochet wearables that I want to make. We're gonna go through and maybe do a little Pinterest, Etsy, Ravelry deep dive and put together a list um, of potentials and maybe narrow it down. But that's something that's high up on my list. Is doing some like a lot of crochet projects, especially wearables, not just wearables though. Like get back into doing a lot of hats for donation. I did donate right before I moved. Um, I did go through all of my hats that I made that year because if you remember earlier in the year I was trying to make a hat every day and then like we just got derailed with some family stuff. But I went through, I counted all the hats that I had made up to that point. I think I stopped in March, plus just other like random hats that I had around that weren't part of like that initiative. And I counted up like 80 hats that I had to donate. This was like in early September. So I did that, which I think is more than I donated last year. So that's good. I did still, even with giving up on that project, I still managed to, I think, surpass what I'd done the year prior. So that's really cool. But I do want to like get back to doing that, donating hats and things. So that's always a good way to like exercise my crochet hooks. I want to, so that's that. I remember I had a goal. I gotta find my notebook that I wrote down my goals for this year, but I know one of them was to like design a wearable of some sort. And I didn't do that this year. So I'm gonna do that. That's what was one goal. And then another goal was to rescue some of my my abandoned whips. And I hadn't done that. I didn't really get to any of those, even though I knew even which ones I kind of wanted to either rescue them or repurpose them. I didn't get to that, so those kind of transfer over to this year. Um, what other things I know? I already showed you the books, the two pattern books that I bought, the digital downloads I did from Wool and Pine. So I'm gonna work through those books this year. I don't know if I'll get everything on there, but I'm gonna definitely do a handful, a good hit a good handful of those projects. Um, oh, I'm getting a headache. Um, I'm thinking what I might do is pick 12. This is what I'm just spitballing here because I just had this idea like today or yesterday. But maybe like pick 12 projects that I want to focus on this year and like focus on one a month, you know? And even if I don't finish it in that month, like that's gonna be like my main push for the month. So that might be something I do. Like we'll pick 12, and maybe you guys, if you want to join along with me, you can. But we'll talk about that probably a little bit. I think next week I'll come back and have a little bit more of an organized video. This is more of a like, let me hop on while I can, while I've got this fresh, fresh object to show you guys. What else do I know I want to do? Um, I had some more. They're in my head somewhere. I'm gonna have to yank them out somehow. But those were kind of like some of the ones that I know that are like top of mind for me. I'm gonna still keep on doing socks, but I think a lot of my Peyton's Croy is going to go to hats, knit hats. No, I didn't. I'm gonna finally actually buy the Musselburgh pattern, just to have it as a guide because I don't know why. Like, if you guys remember, I was trying to make a Musselburgh style beanie out of what are you called? Big twist sock wool, and it's kind of rainbow color. And I started twice, and it came out too big both times, so I have to like start it over again. And it's like the first couple times I did it, like this hat I did completely freehand, and then I did like this is a worsted weight one. I did a sock weight one completely freehand, and they were fine. They came out a little bit tight on me, and I think that's it. I think now I'm like overcorrecting because both of these came out just a tad bit small. Um, and um, and so um, I think I'm overcorrecting quite a bit, and so I think just to have it as a guide, I want to just have the pattern, so I have like I can know how to do the swatching and things. It's not swatch, but it's like the measurement, the gauging. And also, I notice when other people do them, their crown looks quite different from mine. Like I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Like I feel like when other people do the Musselburgh, both ends, this is like the decreasing side, right? And it has like you see it's like two stitches on the decrease, like defined, and whereas mine, like it just has the one stitch. I feel like I don't know, or like you know what I mean. Like, you see the difference. I'm not describing it well, so I feel like I want to like see exactly how they do their increases and compare it to how I do my increases and see if I like it better. So I'm actually gonna buy the pattern. and do it. And then, so I think I'm gonna make a lot of Musselburgs this year, and I'm just a lot. I'm also gonna do some Ross hats. I finally, like, you don't, his is a free pattern, but I finally actually downloaded it. Um, and so I'm gonna do some Ross hats as well out of this, out of like my paint and score, because it's just like unsatisfactory as a sock yarn compared to what my other choices are. There's a couple that I will use for socks. I think like that I have. I have a pair. There's like a black and white kind of one. I think I'm gonna make a pair for my husband, or maybe for some of the kids. So I'll still use it for socks, but it's just not. I can tell it's not ever gonna be my favorite sock yarn, and I like making socks, so I want to like using the yarn. Um, so there's that. So I'm gonna do probably a lot of hats this year, a lot of socks this year, but that's just something I will probably just always have going. Um, yeah, we're gonna actually sit down and write out and talk about what our my goals are, and I'm gonna also, I got this big old bag of yarn bands. More I shove in here. So we'll see how much I did this year. I don't remember how much I did last year, so um can't compare it. But maybe, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. Maybe we'll get a at least a kind of an idea of it. What else? Say two parts. Yeah, I'm looking around to see if there's anything else I need to remember. I guess that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon. I just wanted to just, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I don't know even if I make a video before the New Year, I doubt I will get a chance to post it before the New Year. So I'll just see you guys, and I'll say for now, Happy New Year. And I guess that is it. Let me know how your Christmas went. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're trying to finish up before in 2025, in these last few days of 2025. Let me know what you're excited to start working on in 2026. Sorry, I'm touching my nose so much. It is just itching me. Okay, that's my cue. I got to go. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.